TIFU by eating 161 eggs in 13 days, by user Warm Protection 2440. I ate 12 to 13 eggs a day and ended up spiraling into severe depression and started having some pretty dark suicidal thoughts, like constantly thinking about cutting my neck or wrists off. Nothing brought me joy. I was so exhausted physically, mentally, and emotionally. All I wanted to do was stay in bed. I'm sure it was because I had way too much acetylcholine. Eggs are naturally rich in choline, which the body converts into acetylcholine. I remember feeling the exact same messed up way when I took supplements that increase ACH. How did I not see this coming? High ACH dampens dopamine and serotonin, leaving you feeling numb, apathetic, and consumed by dark thoughts. It also overstimulates the nervous system, causing you to burn out, feel anxious, and just utterly exhausted. I felt every bit of that. In case you are wondering, I ate so many eggs simply because I love them. I know it was a stupid decision, but love makes you blind, you know? Yokai is real shit. I get this urge to put an egg on everything. I'll stick with 3 eggs a day max from now on. But first, I need to detox. First few days are gonna be rough. There will be cravings, withdrawal, maybe dreams about runny yolks. Gotta stay strong. No omelets, no sunny side ups, not even a whiff of scrambled. I'm going cold turkey. Wish me luck. TLDR, ate too many eggs, ended up deeply depressed with dark thoughts. Now detoxing and cutting back to 3 eggs a day. TIFU by going to a food pantry for the first time and unknowingly becoming a volunteer. I thought I was shopping for myself. It ended in an international crisis, food bank security, when I was caught loading the groceries in the trunk of my car, by user Trust My Lawyer. Today, I fucked up by going to the food pantry, unknowingly becoming a volunteer, meanwhile thinking I'm shopping for myself, which resulted in what seemed like an international crisis, food bank security, getting caught loading the groceries in the trunk of my car. This happened this afternoon. I'm in between jobs, and money is tight. I keep reading food bank stories on Reddit, and I thought I'd look into it. According to Reddit, it's not embarrassing, has no judgment, and to take what you need. The food bank website about us said drive-through, bring a utility bill, and bring your ID. It was open today from 2 o'clock to 3:30 and it's less than 2 miles away. I'm very nervous, I feel guilty being in a time of need, but feeling reassurance from reading all of Reddit experiences that I decide I'm going to give it a shot. I pull up to the location. It's a large church. I see an industrial building off to left of the church complex. That must be where I'm supposed to go. Mind you, I'm thinking how strange that it's not busy and there's only a handful of cars. Where's the drive-through? I park and go through a large metal door. There's a sign-in sheet, and I fill it out, thinking how nice it was that I didn't have to fill out a bunch of paperwork. It looks like the back of a food warehouse with food and shelving. I walk through the maze and see a line of grocery carts. I'm thankful I figured this out all on my own. A woman grabbing a cart asked me why I was there, and I said I was shopping for the very first time and that I had already signed in. She hands me a cart and says she'll walk me through. We shake hands, and I get in line with my cart. I put my purse in the cart. The person behind me said I could put my purse back in the break room. I said, that's okay, I prefer to keep it on me. It's chaotic in the food pantry warehouse. We are all lined up with our carts in a single file line. We made our way to where the shelves of food started. She instructed me to grab 2 produce items from a large box on the pallet. I'm leaning down and am looking at each item, trying to decide which 2 I want. Then we move along. This time, it's a tall shelving tower with 4 shelves. I'm told to grab 2 from the top, 1 from the 3rd shelf, and 2 from the bottom 2 shelves. It's canned goods and sweets like cupcakes. Again, I'm looking at all the choices. She is getting irritated with me selecting certain items over others. We get to what I think is the checkout, and she tells me we just push the cart out the big door and get back in line. I start walking out, confused as hell, because my car is on the other side of the building. I ask her how am I supposed to get the food to my trunk? It finally clicks with her that I'm not a volunteer but a very confused person going to the food bank for the first time. It was so funny. We had a good laugh. She told me the next time what I'm actually supposed to do. Then, I take my cart out of the back of the warehouse. I'm loading the very last box in my trunk when security scares the shit out of me. She had a walkie-talkie and was not pleased. I was interrogated. I explained what happened and said it was funny and next time I know what to do. She tells me it's not funny and I need to walk to the other side and fill out a registration form. She grabbed my card and told me to walk with her. I am so embarrassed, laughing when we are walking there, because I now see the actual logistics. There's a snake line of cars like the lines you go through at an amusement park. I'm deposited at the check-in station. Now everything is making sense. The director helped me complete the forms. At least she saw the humor in it. But what ended up happening was I filled out the registration as instructed by security. That was actually the volunteer registration. Anyway, I'll be volunteering on Thursday from 1 to 4. And the kicker is, volunteers take all the stuff that's left over. They need the space for the next load. Bonus, I already went through training. TLDR, I fucked up by going to a food pantry for the first time and unknowingly becoming a volunteer. I thought I was shopping for myself. It ended in an international crisis, food bank security, when I was caught loading the groceries in the trunk of my car. https://mgur.com/a/ubxrpx. TIFU by participating in a Disappoint Your Parents party, and actually disappointing my parents, by user post in 4 answers. Me and my group of friends like holding different themed get-togethers and parties with creative themes and incentives to dress up, like awarding gift cards and cash prizes to the best costume. Our last party was on New Year's Eve, and the theme was Disappointing Your Parents. There was a lot of creativity, with people showing up pregnant, including the men, with the love child of maligned celebrities, inmates in orange jumpsuits, and sleazy drug dealers and pimps. The winner was a friend of mine who showed up as Alex Jones from InfoWars and left the party shirtless, popping horse dewormer, and screaming obscenities about water turning frogs gay. I showed up as a witch, partly because I already had the costume on hand and honestly, because I like dressing up as a witch. So I partied with the hat, the dress, and a straw broom, and it was fun, until my parents found out what I was wearing. At first, I thought they were joking around, pretending to be disappointed because I had worn a witch costume a few times before when I was a teenager, mostly on Halloween. I thought, oh good. It was a Disappoint Your Parents party, and my mum and dad are disappointed. Mission accomplished. But then they started getting serious, saying that I was taking the costume too seriously as an adult since I had worn it more than once as a teenager, and they were legitimately worried that I was practicing witchcraft, by wearing a costume. They even went as far as to suggest that the broom had phallic symbolism to openly disclose lust for men, which was mortifying to think about. Anyway, there I was, telling my parents that it was a costume party, and they decided that because I've dressed as a witch as an adult, that I'm somehow in league with Satan and in need of a baptism tanning bed with holy water bath salts or something. Since that time, they want to take precautionary measures by bringing me to church every weekend, humiliating me in front of clergymen by telling them that I'm wearing a witch costume as an adult, dumping the costume in the rubbish, and even wanting to review my playlist on Spotify to see if there's any influences to witchcraft. Needless to say, I've set all my social media to private and scrubbed my parents' comments from my posts, and refused to answer my parents' calls until Discount Alex Jones surrenders his prize to me, since I've actually managed to disappoint my religious parents at the New Year's Eve Disappoint Your Parents party. TLDR, went to a Disappoint Your Parents themed party, went dressed as a witch, and actually disappointed my parents with my costume choice due to their religious beliefs, and now they think I'm possessed and need an exorcism. TIFU thinking that a UV light was a normal night lamp, by user Xerbo7. 5 days ago I traveled to Sanya, basically the Miami of China, to spend the winter and Chinese New Year there with my family. My grandma prepared my bedroom for me, and as soon as I entered the room I noticed this weird-looking lamp without a shade that had a blue/purplish color to it. I didn't question it much other than thinking that my grandma probably had a unique taste in home decors. I then proceeded to spend the rest of the week with this weird lamp for a few hours every night while I scrolled on Reels and TikTok before I went to sleep. Now you must wonder, how did my dumb ass not notice that I was being exposed to basically the full power of the sun without the ozone on a cloudless afternoon while butt naked for hours? Here's the thing, Sanya has a tropical monsoon climate where the sun is literally a deadly laser, and I have been drinking a bunch of 80-proof Beiju every day as soon as I've arrived BC of the holidays. I felt the sunburn sensation on my skin immediately on day 2 and started peeling on day 3, especially on my face. Everyone around me just assumed I was a thin-skinned baby face BC. All the unks I had met were totally fine playing golf or hanging around outside all day without sunscreen. I accepted the humiliation, and honestly, based on my previous experience swimming in Egypt on a cloudy day and literally shedding my entire skin like a snake afterwards, I thought it was a me problem too. In the morning of day 4, after an extra intense night of alcohol overconsumption, I woke up literally unable to keep my eyes open for more than 5 seconds. I asked Google if this was a common hangover symptom, and MF said yes. I then proceeded to purchase some artificial tears to help my eyes feel better. On top of the dryness, I wasn't even able to focus my eyes all day, and my vision got noticeably worse. My face was peeling too. Still, I thought I was just hungover and was suffering the consequences of being a low melanin beta. Finally, tonight, my grandma switched my lamp for a brighter one BC. She thought it looked weird too and had the lamp placed in another room where my mom was going to stay. My mom immediately noticed a weird smell. I did not smell anything when I had it, and realized the lamp is actually emitting UV light. Apparently one of my uncle bought my grandma this lamp during the pandemic to help disinfect things, and she forgot what it was for. Thankfully nobody used it before I came. My eyes have recovered and my skin has almost stopped peeling since. I'm just thankful that I didn't accidentally leave the light on all night long. Now take this lesson in and please double check when a light near you has blue/purple colors or smelled off. Also, always wear sunscreen. Don't forget your ears too. TLDR got exposed to intense UV radiation from a light that my grandma mistakenly placed in my bedroom thinking it was a normal lamp. Thought it was just BC of sunburn and being hangover until mum realized what was off. TIFU by showing my wife to swipe right and see the popular feed, by userinf1wh0. Not a big fuck up, but I feel bad. My wife is new to Reddit. Her profile is maybe 2 years old. I told her how it works and she's enjoyed it so far. My wife is very wholesome and has been filling her feed with things she likes, like I told her to do. She searched for subreddits she's interested in and joins them and enjoys her feed. Simple enough. I've been keeping her up to tabs on current events, in everyday conversations. This happened in the world, so and so is in the news, that happened at this place sorta thing. She's always just asked me where I'm getting my information from and I just tell her Reddit. She's always just sorta responded back with, hey. I must have missed that, or I didn't see that at all in my feed. My first really big clue was the Musk Sieg-Heil, and I was honestly quite surprised when she said her usual default response. Second flag was when she said she never noticed the massive influx of subreddits requesting to ban all X/Twitter posts. Last night, I decided to forego our usual evening wind down and cuddle while watching unimportant YouTube videos in the background. I decided to put on music and talk about our day and just enjoy each other's company. I showed her something on Reddit that I thought was funny and she laughed and said, "OMG, where did you see that? Send it to me," and I told her it should be in her feed, just scroll down from the top posts. So she did and said she couldn't find it. I then asked her to show me her feed and it was all r/cats, r/dogs with jobs, r/corgis, r/sewing, r/baking, etc. etc. I said, "Ooh, you're in your custom feed, just scroll right." The look on her face went blank and she asked what did I mean scroll right. I said swipe right and you'll get to the popular feed. Swipe right again and you'll get to the watch section where it's all videos. She just dropped her jaw and told me she never knew about that. I said, oh, that finally makes sense, and showed her how to mute certain subreddits if she didn't want to see them. I went about our evening and thought nothing of it. Except I totally fucked up. She came home from work tonight just totally numb. I asked her what was wrong and she told me she's just been in an unfiltered popular doom scroll all day. She's only known like highlights of what's going on in the world from what I've told her. Now she knows everything and I'm afraid I broke her. I feel bad. TLDR, my wife was only staying in her personal feed and never knew about the popular feed and has been doom scrolling all day. Edit. Oh no. I am not responsible or liable for exposing you to unfiltered Reddit. I can at least tell her she's not the only one. Hell, maybe she'll actually see one of my posts for once. Hi honey. I love your butt.